You know, I like to see that and reciprocate that as well.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You're humble with me, then I'm going to be humble with you.
Yeah,
Give me an attitude, I'm going to be like, all right, cool. And then I'm going to reciprocate some type of attitude because it's an energy exchange.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Which is also part of that balance. If you're tipping my scale, homie, nigga, I'm going to bounce right back and I'm going to that scale. I don't want to. It's just what you're projecting, like how you said. If this is something that you're throwing at me, it's just going to loop right back at you. Because I don't want it. I don't need it. Here, take it back.
Yeah.
And however you take it, that's yours, not mine.
Yeah, man.
And some people don't like that.
I mean, like I said, it's always life is more like a mirror, right? So we typically, that's why I tell people you got to be careful what you put out into the world with your actions and your words, because you'll get back what you put out, right? Life is a reflection of how you are as a person.
Right.
So if you're getting what you don't like, if you're overweight, if you're broke, if you're in these if you can't find the right partner, you know, you don't have kids, you want to get married and have kids and it hasn't happened yet, whatever the circumstance, I'm just saying examples. Typically you get what you put out. You need to, I know you're a big proponent of this, the words you put out into the world, it's big. Right, it's just starting with what your words and the language you choose, you know.
Well, just remember that what we put out there is a big part of what we do too, right? Because obviously, you know, in our practice, is el rezo.
Right.
Because you're putting the words out there. So when we're obviously communicating and opening a portal in our practice, we're communicating and putting these words out there. So even if we're not in the practice and we're just living our human life here, right? And we're putting these words out there, we're manifesting and casting some type of spell.
Right.
So like how you said, we're putting these words. If you're a liar and you're lying, eventually that lie is going to come around somewhere. And it's going to end up being somewhat true. Porque esa palabra que tú estás poniendo ahí, está floating in the air.
Yeah.
So that's why when you keep speaking negative y estás pensando en negatividad,
bro,
it's going to come. So, and sometimes it's hard for people to think positive because so many negative things have been happening, right? So what do we have to do is keep having that faith. Believe me, I've gone through it as well. Main thing I tell my mom all the time, oye, las cosas van a resolver. Las cosas se van a resolver. No pense tanta negatividad porque si no lo estás arreglando ahora y estás pensando en negatividad y todavía no has cogido la solución, cuando venga la solución, ahora vas a tener otro problema porque te estás tormentando tú misma. ¿Y por qué te vas a preocupar ahora? Porque más adelante te vas a preocupar más y ahora es el doble.
Right.
So, cógelo suave.
100%. I'm a firm believer, and I've proven this in my own life to myself. Problems were made to be solved. There is a solution for everything in life. If it didn't have a solution, it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? Think about it. Like, it wouldn't be a problem if it didn't have a way to be solved.
Which is true.
It wouldn't exist.
Like how you said, problems were created to be solved. And every solution, there's a problem.
The cycle. Again, we go back to the cycle. Yeah.
Why? Because how did you resolve that? How did you come to that resolution? You had to go through something.
You had to go through the problem.
Thomas Edison, right? You know the story.
Yeah.
How many times did it take him?
10,000 times, bro.
To do a light bulb. And he even says it. It took me 10,000 times how not to create. How many times I messed up. How many times all this shit happened to me that does not make me have the solution to make a light bulb. And I figured it out, but all these ways is how not to make it. These things will not. So, which is what we do, right? Which is what we were talking about earlier. History repeats itself when you're in a repetitive cycle. If you keep doing the same exact shit and there's no solution to it, what is the definition?
Insanity.
Thank you.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're insane. Albert Einstein said that.
So you're driving yourself
insane.
So what's the solution? Don't keep doing the same thing. Now you're going to have to find out how to resolve it, like how you said. Every problem, there's a solution. In every solution, there's a problem. Now it's finding that balance. Remember, everything that we're talking about is just gonna go right.
That's crazy.
We're just gonna.
Everything is connected, bro.
It's all connected, one way or another. There's always something there's a variable. There's always something that's gonna, and that's where we keep leveling up, and that's where our brain starts opening up more. Because like, damn, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't see it that way. You know, and then some people who are listening to this are gonna be like, damn, that's true. Some people might be like, oh, I knew that shit. All right, cool, but did you know this? Because everybody always wants to say, yeah, I know it all. We're all know-it-alls. We don't know shit at all. We know to the most that what was presented to us. I know the most that I know. That's it. You know the most that you know.
But we don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's funny. People who think that way, oh, no, no, I know that already. They have nothing to show for in their lives, bro. No results. None. It's always the guy with no results that's like, no, I already know about that.
Yeah.
But do you really?
Or if they do know about it, right? Because I'll be like, yeah, I know about that. But a lo mejor no me trabajó.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know about it, but how? Because I get this all the time. Oh, because you got to do that. I'm like, yo, I know it. I know what's got to be done. But I just haven't done it that route because, let's say, for example, oh, you got to do this. All right, but you know what? That takes a lot of money. And it's not about the money, but it's just like, all right, cool. That what you're talking about, there's got to be a lot of work to be done to get to that point.
Right.
You might have that covered because you have all that money to play with. But what you don't know, like how you said, is you don't know the struggles that I'm going through or that this person is going through or that other people have gone through to get to that point. Because look, back to the whole Thomas Edison. I'm pretty sure it took him a lot of time to get through all that and a lot of money.
To keep trying and trying.
And I'm pretty sure he had people who invested in him too that he can get to that. But when you don't have any investors and you're doing it all from your own blood, sweat, and tears in your pocket and your hard grind work, porque tú no quieres no hands out, porque tú sabes que tú lo que es lo que quieres hacer, you know how to get there. It's going to take you time. But those are obstacles that you were chosen to get to. And that's how your wisdom comes about. So that when you go ahead and you tell someone, look, I understand this, and then they can just drop little things that you didn't know about. Because, I know how to do that. But you know what? I'm going to help you out here. Maybe you should look. You know what? You're right. I didn't think of it that way. I got to, you know what? Before I get to here, instead of going straight this way, let me bounce over here, ricochet over here, smooth sailing over here. Maybe I got to take 2 steps back to analyze the big picture. And then I can leap forward to get to this point.
There's an old saying I love, man, and I remind myself of it all the time. Stupid people don't learn from their mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes, and wise people learn from others' mistakes.
Right.
Wisdom. If I could sum up what I look for all the time, I'm always searching for wisdom, man.
Which is what we all should do. They always say knowledge is power, right? But it's an understanding because you can have all the knowledge you want, but if you don't understand that knowledge, how can you turn that into a greater thing? Because it's not the power of like, oh, I'm the man, because that's an ego.
Correct.
Right? Is the simple fact of how to understand this knowledge to use it correctly and wisely. Why? So you don't create a problem. And so your solutions are everlasting, are in abundance. So you can always resolve something. That's when you understand it. Bro, it could be easy. I just bought this table from IKEA and I can't understand. Hold on. Maybe it's because this. A lo mejor esto aquí. Somebody steps out and goes, you know what? You have it upside down. Oh, shit, you're right.
Just look at it a different way.
So it's just the understanding. Because they can go ahead and give you how many times have you got one of those instructions and it just shows you pictures.
Yeah.
A screw, a line, a hole.
A, B, C,
and you're
D.
like, oh shit, yeah, but this screw and this.
Yeah.
That's knowledge right there. You have the knowledge, but the understanding is different. That's why I say, knowledge is great, but how do you understand it? Can you understand it?
Wisdom is when knowledge meets experience. That's true wisdom. Because knowing something is great. Reading a book about it is great. However, applying it and then gaining the experience, that's when you become wise.
Everybody right now, you can search anything on Google. That's knowledge. There's a difference in understanding it. because now there's a practice, right? Because
Yeah,
everybody right now is so spiritual, right?
Bro, me and Sin talked about I'm up to here with the new age spiritual stuff.
Exactly.
Bro.
Everybody's spiritual, which is great that they're taking that step forward. You can read all the knowledge you want about spirituality, about Hindus, gods, this, no sé qué, crystals, stones, whatever, but an understanding of how to apply it and how to do it, and if you were taught properly or instructed, that's why you have shamans, gurus, or someone or some type of teacher who's going to show you that. Because if I just tell you, oh yeah, here's all these things here, I'm going to give you the knowledge of how is this supposed to be done. It's fine. But an understanding of what goes where, how am I supposed to do it? Is there a proper step, or is this supposed to go over here? Which one goes first? And then asking questions.
That's the reason I do this podcast, bro.